Are we jumping in? Are we jumping into footers real quick before, or are we stopping?
I
And
think we can do footers. What do you think,
I got
Kristen?
time, so
Do it?
yeah, I say let's do it.
So
We
let's
might
not.
Yeah,
split
I
the
got
video
time.
up into three different videos here, but whatever. Let's,
All right. Well, let's check out the footers here. So I'll swap to my screen share here. All right. Again, we're gonna come back and do like kind of the meat of the website, which is like the actual page on another day. Today, we're gonna finish up with this footer, which is a little bit more in depth than the header, but should be pretty simple. So if we're looking at this footer, again, is kind of like a global thing. So we're not doing it on a page. We're doing it globally through Elementor's theme builder. I'm just going to close out of some of these windows. So we'll go to the same place that we went to for creating a header, which is the theme builder. And instead of clicking header this time, we're going to click footer. And you'll see the same kind of thing where it gives you some options. Again, probably only for inspiration. Otherwise, let's start with this blank canvas. We're going to start with a flex box, and we're going to go top down here. I'm going to grab that color as the main color here, and I'll probably, just to take a look at this and explain how I'm thinking about this as I'm looking at it, is this is probably all one container, and then we have this separate container down here with, it's kind of like the sub footer with the copyright and the payment options here.
are you doing the payment stuff?
Yeah, it's really easy. Like I was looking at it,
Okay.
it's just an image, so I'm just going to drop an image in there.
Okay.
Anytime
Anytime I see that, I think that just looks old, and like, of course, it takes Visa and Mastercard.
I know, right? Yeah, I've had that thought before. We'll do it just for the sake of keeping with the
Consistency. Yeah, all good.
so I'm going to set, let's see, is it this accent color? Yep, the accent color. And then I'm just going to go ahead and create another one down here just so we can start to see it come together. So we have our two sections here. And then within this section, I kind of want these 4 columns in here. So I can do that a whole bunch of different ways. I'm trying to think. Maybe I would just want to go ahead and set it up like this and just have 4 in there to make things easier. Normally, I probably would do this a little bit more manually, but with 10 minutes, I don't think I have time to. So I'm going to do it like this, which sets up these 4. They're not columns, even though it kind of looks like the old Elementor columns are still in the Flex containers. And we have 4 in there on the example. This one, of course, looks like much bigger than the others. Maybe this is 40, 20, 20, 20 in terms of percentage. So, maybe I'll just go ahead and guesstimate that and go 40 and then 20, 20, 20. And I'll show you one thing here that I didn't show you in the last one is this copy and paste style.
Oh,
it's
nice.
Cool. So I don't have to make that setting over and over again. In general,
in Beaver Builder, can you just right click? Oh, you can. You can copy styles of a box. Yeah.
Yes, import styles, export styles, and you have to copy and paste the actual CSS.
Yeah, it's this in general, the right click menu, really love, copy and paste options here. Duplicate, I of course use all the time as well. Okay, so we're going logo, a little bit of, what is this, a link? No, just text. So again, let's probably just drop in the logo in here. Oop, we have my bad background, but that's okay for now. And then we have a bit of text underneath here, which I am going to copy and paste here. And then we have 3 headings here, which I'll drop in a heading for one time. And then I'm going to set the settings. I think it's enter, looks like enter bold. So I'm going to set this up. And normally, again, I would set this up globally as one of my styles. For the sake of time here, I'm just going to do this somewhat quickly. And I think it's 600. That's probably closer. I probably forgot a step of adding some top and bottom padding and even some left and right padding in here. So I'm going to just, again, guesstimate here. It's probably 72, a little less on the bottom because we have this down there. and we are going to go company services address. So I'll set this up one time, and
you set that bottom as 71, and you said 72. I don't just.
Oh man, I definitely got to change that.
I mean, I know it doesn't really matter, but
like I eventually changed from like base 10 and like so 5, 10, 15, well base 5, because that's how the old page builders had it, and even Elementor does now. But I've switched to base 4 now, so I am obsessed with making sure every number is divisible by 4. So you were joking, I know, Aaron, but it is a pet peeve of mine.
I know it doesn't matter, but I would do the same thing. So
yeah,
if you're gonna do it right.
Exactly. So services and address, and you see I just duplicated it and dragged it over, so I'm not recreating things over and over again. And then the cool thing is if I'm like, you know what, I'm looking at this page and I see the text is actually a couple sizes smaller.
2 pixels bigger than it should be, right?
I'm gonna decrease the size, copy, paste. Yeah, I think you read my mind there. And then we have what looks like a menu here. What looks like
text or a menu.
Yeah, this is not how I would do it at all, especially because this menu doesn't match that menu. So I'll probably make a improvement on the fly. Then we have address, phone number, and socials down here. So I'll try and do this as quickly as I can. Let me drop in. I kind of like to use.
You're 6 minutes in, so you got 4 minutes.
I think that's just enough time here.
As if we're really paying attention to the time, but.
Okay, so here is one of those times where the drag and drop is failing me. So I'm going to copy and paste instead. And then I'm not going to name all of these links properly, but I'm going to at least bring one in here. I like this widget because it's pretty versatile, the icon list. Of course, in this example, we don't have any icons there. And then, we would add a link in there, but for time's sake, I won't. We'll duplicate that several times. I'm just going to add one thing to show you some variation. Maybe we want to put a little bit more space in between these items. That's pretty close enough. We do want to make the text dark like they have it on here, and then hover to light. That looks pretty good. Here, again, that doesn't look like a menu at all to me. But we'll paste it over and we'll copy one of these over just to kind of get the feel for it. And then address and phone number. Again, here, I'm going to use an icon list. And I'm going to actually paste in here so I don't have that drag and drop issue. And here, I'm going to delete, grab the address. And, I'm actually going to do this.
Put a map. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that helps to make people visually, they don't have to scan for an address as hard through all the text. So we'll have that in there. And then call us is down there, so that actually helps a little bit, but I'll probably put a phone icon in there to match. We'll grab, it doesn't really matter what phone number it is, and we'll probably keep the call us, I guess.
You got a minute and a half.
Okay, and then the social icons. Elementor does have a element for this to make it easy. Of course, we probably don't want to do that, and we're going to change this to, I think it's that. We'll change this to that. And again, here, Aaron, I'm doing the thing where I'm setting the background color and then making it transparent. Kind of double duty there, but
that looks so much better than having the red, like the actual colors from the social media. So.
Yeah, I agree. We don't need any padding, so I'm going to do that, but we do want spacing. And then there was a big gap there, so I'll just kind of do something like that. And then we have the very bottom, which is just a copyright. So I'm going to put just text down there and copy this. And then we also had the image of the payment options, which I think that is also downloaded on my computer as an SVG, which I just saw is not, we didn't turn that on the site yet. So
an SVG, not a.
Yeah, maybe I'm going to try it just in case. Let's see.
I mean, you can go back and turn it into a PNG while Kristen's doing the
Yeah,
menu or something if you want. Whatever. I don't think
yeah,
it's that critical.
I don't either. So here's the structure thing that Kristen was looking at earlier. I'm going to use that just to change the order of this.
Yeah, so that's the part that. So that's not, you can't drag and drop in Beaver Builder with that part, right, Kristen?
With this navigator.
So under the structure part, like you can't. What he just did is drag and drop in there, and you can't do that in Beaver Builder, right?
No, you can.
She was saying you can't do this.
Yeah.
Like you.
Okay. I
Yeah.
thought you were saying you couldn't drag and drop at all. So
That's what I thought.
Okay.
And then I'm just
you
going to
just can't move it out of your way. You lose like
that's kind of annoying, but yeah,
250
that's
pixels.
a somewhat easy fix. I mean, so
right.
I mean, for the Beaver Builder people, but
yeah.
I'm going to kind of fudge that color instead of finding the exact separator color. And there we have it. By no means perfect, but in 10 minutes, definitely pretty solid.
11 minutes.
Always 11 minutes, killing me here.
Yeah.
I'm going to publish this. I'm going to set add condition, entire site, and it knows it's a footer. So if I go back to the front end and refresh, there we go. I have my header and my footer. And Kristen, over to you.
Cool. Pressure's on.
Yep. Don't start my timer just yet.
All right.
Just kidding. You good.
Timer on.
So with any Beaver Builder install, you do get this exact footer. We didn't set any of this up. I think it just inherited some of the old color schemes that we had set up for our jumpstart install. So you can go through the back end like I showed earlier to get to the footer, or you can go through the front end like I just did. And I will just delete these. I will start fresh. And I'm gonna actually go with columns this time, just to show the other version of what you can do instead of the flex boxes. So Beaver Builder only had columns for a long time, and Flexbox was something that you had to CSS, or I'm sure there was a plugin that you could use as well. But yeah, so we have the logo, which I am just going to drag an image in. And one thing I forgot to show earlier, I did go back and update my logo up here, but is how to link an image, which is really important for the header and footer, I think. So on the photo module, if you just scroll down to the bottom of the general tab, it has the link type and you can select URL. And I will just put the / which is the index page of any website. And then it'll take you to the home page. And then the other thing we need to do here is, hey, I'm going to set the 1400 to match what I had set up in the header. You can adjust this globally so it doesn't start at 1100 every single time. And you said 80 was our top and bottom padding here. And the logo just needs to go a lot smaller. I think it was like around 150. I'm going to left align that as well. There we go. And let me get this other. I'm jumping back and forth with the styling. But We'll update that there. And then I'm actually just gonna duplicate this row and delete some stuff. It's already the color that I want it to be, so it'll be a lot easier to just I'm just gonna guess 10 here and set up the copyright. So I'm gonna pull a text editor in here. And I will do a little bit of extra styling here, but that should already be our default font, which is Enter. And do you know what gray color this was at the top of this border? Oh, there it is.
I have no clue.
You can't tell by just looking.
Nope. I've got good eyes, but not that good. So
Actually, a RGB color.
I don't have great eyes because I wear glasses, but you know.
You
Um,
are good. I do remember you being like, "There's this thing is one pixel off," and I was like, "It was a button on our website when we were launching it," and I finally figured out our font that we chose puts all of the font like a little bit off vertical center, and like so I adjusted everything by a pixel because you were totally right. It was all off centered,
Yeah.
one
Sorry.
pixel. I could hardly see that, but yeah, you have the eyes for the pixels.
Yeah, I've driven many people crazy over the years where I'm like, that needs to be 4 pixels to the left.
Right.
So, but the funniest part is where I learned. So my old business partner, he was my designer, our designer for my previous company, and uh, he kept designing stuff that was I'm like, why is it purple, man? And he's like, it's not purple, it's blue, and realized that he can't see reds properly. And
Mm.
so but after him designing a few things where I'm like, that just doesn't seem right, and he's like, we realized that his reds are a little off. So
Huh.
it's just funny. But
so this is the downside of not having Flexbox is that you can't auto center things vertically. And you have to let your padding lead that. So just be aware of that with the column setup. And
Yeah, it's like one of those things. It was like, why switch to Flexbox? Like I see everybody switching to Flex, and it was like when you start using it, you start to realize like, oh, I used to have to do that with padding. Oh, I used to have to build a whole nother section on mobile to change the order of all of these items. And you start to realize all of those little things, and they start to add up to the point where you're like, I can't believe I was ever using columns and happy with it.
right, yeah. It
I
the
was happy doing tables way back when,
Yeah, right.
30 years ago or however long ago that was.
And those tables are
But
the worst.
now I don't have to deal with tables. But it takes a while for your brain to start doing things the new right way, you know.
Right, right.
right, yeah, absolutely. These are all 16. I don't think they used Marcellus down here in the footer either. I'm gonna leave mine as Marcellus because it's a heading, and I think we should follow the styling that was set up for
Header tags, heading.
the rest of
Yeah.
the page. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I am not gonna I could use a list module as well. Um, but I'm not going to. I'm actually gonna just set it up this way.
Because there's a bazillion ways you can do it. Because you could do a menu in there, and then style the menu. Like, yeah,
Yeah. Because our link colors we have already in the hover colors we've already defined in the global settings, so it makes it a lot easier to just let that lead here. I'm actually gonna make that a little bigger. Is it okay that I'm improving on the design?
Sure.
Okay.
We'll contact these people and tell them we made some updates.
Yeah, right.
Just kidding.
Um, and one thing that's cool is you can also duplicate in here, which makes it go a lot faster as well. Um, and I am I'm gonna improve on this a little bit too, because that just like reads like a paragraph.
Mhm.
So we're gonna go coaching and
And that's
expand.
another thing
It's like they
about
got lazy at the end.
Yeah,
I think templates suffer from they only do it well enough to sell it, right? Like there's no money in making it completely perfect when they're churning out 120 templates to choose from. So
yeah,
you look at them and at first glance you're like, oh, this template's great. And then you start to dive into it and you realize like, oh, this is, a rush job. This is definitely not thought out and strategized at all. It looks a certain way to sell it, and that's about it. And yeah, you always find those little downfalls when you
That's
actually.
the thing that was really hard. I remember, goodness, this was 14 years ago. We were competing with someone that was selling templates. And it's like you can't compete with all they're doing is doing a template. Of course, they can do it cheaper than us, but I mean, it looks like a template.
Right, right.
So,
Yeah, I mean, and that was also the thing. I remember back when most of your site, you'd start a site and you'd be theme shopping at the beginning, and you'd be going through all the theme options and all the theme styles, and is this going to fit the content that the client needs? And it was the same thing with themes. It was like, this looks good, and then you'd install it and you'd be like, oh, what did I do?
yeah.
This is terrible. It doesn't work like this. And like there's only so much you could see by like just browsing the front end of the theme demo. So yeah, it was just like theme shopping was the worst. And then you'd sink 40 hours into building a website in a certain theme, and then you'd realize I have to switch themes because this is not stable, or
Yeah,
this
or
well
the theme's not maintained anymore. Like that's the thing that's the worst. So,
sure. Yeah, I'm very happy with new page builder days of having the basic themes from Beaver Builder and Elementor, and um, of course we deal with the themes, but
that's why we build, and when we build using Elementor's theme or Beaver Builder's theme because we know that that's going to be supported.
right,
So for a long time, like honestly, as long as Beaver Builder exists or Elementor exists, I'm sure their main theme is going to exist. So
right.
right.
And those main themes are pretty bare bones, so there's just less to break too. All these themes, they have a bunch of code in there that probably you don't use on most sites, and one of those pieces of code breaks, and all of a sudden you have to change your whole theme because that feature you're not even using doesn't work quite right.
Yeah, it definitely makes it a lot easier. Just even, going in and updating and not worrying about if you're gonna break something, you know, 3 months from now. I could come back into what we're doing right now and not be worried about it at all.
yeah,
I'm not gonna set up all of these. I just want to get the
fair
point
enough.
across. And I'm gonna left align it. How am I doing on time? I'm probably
12
over.
minutes.
Oh no,
Yeah, all
Ah,
good. Yeah,
I
12
didn't choose the
minutes
right
and
color.
some seconds, but it's all good.
Yeah, I will set up the proper color here.
it was all that customization you did, Kristen.
Yeah,
I
crazy
know, I
customization.
know.
4 minutes making it a little bit prettier.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and the column spacing needs a little bit of help just to help with this big wide open space right here. But yeah, I think that looks pretty good. For 12 minutes.
Looks like the footer. So, I
Yeah.
mean, so
And I'm gonna go ahead and publish. I'm pretty satisfied with it.
awesome. So we got the header and footer done on both. So
Mhm.
awesome.
Mission accomplished. And I mean, we threw out that 10-minute guess for how long we'd have, basically based off of how long we wanted to sit here and recording the video. And oddly enough, it was like almost exactly right. So imagine that.
It's not bad. So cool.
Yeah.
So are we pausing now?
Yeah, I say we break and then maybe record another video going over what was it? The next video we would be going over actually building out kind of the middle of the actual page, the middle of the site that we were looking at. And we can also go over some more general things. I think we talked about like stability, updates, pricing, accessibility, add-ons, all those things that, of course, we don't have time to talk about today, but are very important when you're making that decision of, do I want to use Elementor or do I want to use Beaver Builder? So yeah, and then we'll kind of do a wrap up in the next video too, and give the give everyone our thoughts.
Sounds good. All right. Well, then I will pause this and we will talk to you guys on YouTube later. So thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.